Before we get started on the second season of That Damn Rant Show, here's a quick update. We've moved our studio out of Phoenix because my last landlord was a gigantic fucking scumbag. I was literally only going to take a couple of weeks off from the show for my wedding, but Generalissimo Fred Fucknugget McCuntyface Esquire decided to wait until the last moment to let us know he wasn't interested in renewing our lease. Anyway, new studio, new set, more or less, and hopefully by Christmas, I'll have a new opening title sequence for you to ignore. Also, a quick programming note, in the first 10 episodes last year, I did a couple of shows that were political in nature. And tonight's episode will also be about the election, Trump, Clinton, and how most of Bernie's supporters are a bunch of whiny parochial shitbaskets who want everything their own way or everything can fucking burn as far as they're concerned. That said, I'm not really qualified to be a political pundit. Frankly, politics is boring and idiotic. It's pretty much a given that 99.99427% of all politicians are amoral supervillains with the ethical credibility of a supermarket tabloid. My big area of expertise is pop culture, sci-fi fandom, movie and TV culture, and stuff like that. So after our next couple of episodes, that's where we're going to be focusing going forward. Nevertheless, I do have some relatively coherent thoughts on the election in November, so for better or for worse, here's your damn rant show, folks. Greetings, I am E001 Thomas and welcome to Season 2 of That Damn Rant Show. We'll be fucking about with the format a little bit to fine-tune the show so that you, our loyal and orally exhalational audience, won't get so damn bored. And might even try to talk your friends into watching this diuretic shit show once in a while. Was that redundant? Diuretic shit? Oh, well, who knows. First off, we've been gone for a while, and a lot of insane minutia has piled up at the front door. So, here's our random 5 list of shit we just didn't get to while we were out. Number 1, female Ghostbusters. Sorry folks, not a big deal. By all reports, the movie didn't suck, so get over yourselves. It's bad enough it tanked at the box office because of all you shitbaskets who kept shitting all over the movie before you'd even seen it. Number 2, North Korea declares war on the U.S. Please. Call us when you have a leader who doesn't look like a deranged Teletubby. Number 3, Pokemon Go. Seriously? We finally have a fun gaming app that gets people off their asses and out into the world for a change, and we end up with a bunch of stodgy, stuck-up fucktards acting like this is some kind of atrocity? Why don't you assholes Pokemon Go fuck yourselves and let some folks enjoy life for a change? Number 4, new Star Trek series on CBS streaming app. Hey, maybe if we get a Trek we have to pay for, it won't suck as bad. More on that in a couple of weeks. And finally, number 5, Brexit. Seeing as how most Brits don't even know they were in the European Union in the first place, or what the fuck it was, for that matter, I say fugs it. So, primary season is over, Bernie got burned, and we have 2 less than awesome candidates to choose from. Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. From the moment Hillary officially accepted the nomination, my Facebook has been blowing up with calls to abandon the 2 major candidates and vote third party. Now, I'm no expert on political matters, but haven't we been down this large intestine a couple of times before? In 1992, We had a third-party candidate named Ross Perot. He kind of was a loud, obnoxious little troll who looked like a cross between Louis de Palma and Gollum. He basically came in all bluster and vigor, talking about giant sucking sounds and why both of the other parties were full of shit. All of it was pretty much true, of course, and he had a fantastic mind for self-publicity. So, for the first time in the electronic news media age, a third-party candidate stood a reasonable chance of possibly becoming president. In the end, Bill Clinton won the White House, and George H.W. Bush developed a debilitating case of achondroplasia phobia, also known as lollipop gildophobia.
We represent the lollipop guild, the lollipop guild, the lollipop guild.
In 2000, Ralph Nader ran as a third-party candidate and ended up with a meager yet respectable 2.74% of the final electoral vote. That was the year that W. and Gore ended up in a heated contest over the final vote because Gore had basically won the popular vote, but Bush took home the electoral vote. Now, because Bernie Sanders supporters are basically acting like a bunch of disappointed toddlers, there seems to be a huge groundswell of interest in a third-party candidate. They're basically of the mindset that they hate Hillary as much as they hate the Donald and don't want either one of them to be president. Now that's all well and good in a just and fair society. They might actually have a shot at getting someone from a third party into the White House. But we don't live in a just and fair society. Nobody does. Such a thing doesn't exist outside of Star Trek: The Next Generation. That, plus the fact that nobody has enough support, name recognition, or popularity to sufficiently make a viable stand for the election. And I've got news for you, Sunshine. If the only reason you want to vote for a third-party candidate is because you hate your party's candidate, but you don't want to vote for the other party's candidate either, then just stay the fuck home from the polls, please. For one thing, there isn't even one third-party candidate. In the last month, I've seen people touting at least 3 or 4 candidates, including Gary Johnson for the Libertarian Party and Jill Stein for the Green Party. Now, Gary's on the ballot in all 50 states, but at this time, Jill is only eligible as a candidate in about 30. Neither one on their own would seem to have enough supporters to be able to count on more than maybe 2% of the overall vote, if they're lucky. Now, and keep in mind, although Ross Perot did get an amazing 18.9% of the overall popular vote back in '92, he was also a pop culture publicity juggernaut. He was loud, obnoxious, and annoying as fuck, but he got his ass noticed. I had to Google third-party candidates 2016 to remember who the fuck Jill and Gary are. Sounds more like a bad 60s pop combo, to be honest, and I think there actually was one that played Ed Sullivan in 1959, but that's beside the point. They have all of this mass public recognition of, well, this fucking show. Shit, my balls tingle if my viewer count on one of my rants hits 3 digits. And I have a better shot at running as a third-party candidate than either one of them. As a side note, this whole debacle isn't being helped at all when the mainstream media can't even decide for itself what the fuck it wants to tell us. Same day, same edition, just 2 different parts of a state. In this case, Texas. So I guess we shouldn't be applauding. We should be applauding that there is even allowed to use the word loafers on the front page of the paper in Texas. But seriously, if this isn't proof that the media is egregiously biased and attempting to influence the election, then what the fuck is? So, what's the big answer? New studio, same old graphics. Anyway, the big answer is that for the moment, we're stuck. We have only 2 candidates that stand any chance at all of winning the election, and at this point, the fate of the election hinges on 2 major how much Bernie supporters hate Hillary Clinton, and how much more political Tourette's Republicans are willing to put up with from Donald Trump. Seriously, the main reason I have such a low opinion of the intelligence of my fellow Americans is the mere fact that this racist, dubious asshole with alleged ties to a pedophile and has himself actually been accused of sexual assault with a minor is even being considered as a possible presidential candidate. Hillary may have fucked up the Benghazi situation, and she really needs to figure out how to work her email, but she never alluded to the idea that she might want to fuck her own daughter.
I don't think Ivanka would do that inside the magazine, although she does have a very nice figure. I've said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know? Stop it! She's 6 feet tall. She's got the best body.
Yeah, she's hot.
She made a lot of money as a model, a tremendous amount, and then she went cold turkey and gave it all up because she had to go to college, because I wanted her to go to college.
Ugh, excuse me. I have to go scrub myself down with a wire brush. Anyway, the point is, if you really want to keep Trump out of the Oval Office, just vote for Hillary, okay? She's not the candidate I would have chosen, but at least she's taking some of Bernie Sanders' proposals to heart. And she isn't a fucking racist, incestuous, megalomaniacal gas bag with a fucking Muppet living on her goddamn cranium. Now, this is not the last time I will go off on a political diatribe, but let's face it. I'm a geek. I want to talk about Doctor Who, Game of Thrones, Godzilla, Star Trek, The Hunger Games. I like spaceships and wizards and kaiju and Time Lords. I'm finding my voice on this show, and I really want to ring out. So, next week is our long, belated blitzkrieg on racism, and then we'll tackle customer service and what a fucking shitty job it is. But after that, we're firing up those Zyton crystals, overloading our phase inducers, and engaging in the flux capacitor. Welcome to Season 2 of That Damn Rant Show, folks. Angry Men Reviews. Many fucks said, no fucks given.
Dirty fuck!
My cat is eating the cue card guy's toes. Why the cue card guy showed up to the studio barefoot is anybody's guess, but we do have kind of liberal dress code around here, so what the hell. He also listens to a lot of Grateful Dead, so, you know.